So all good for him. He's definitely got a lot of good experience. Also on the team was Obling. So they have some synergy there going on as well.
Getting ready to kick things off. Going to jump out onto the map. First things first, going on to traditional GOATS composition. Difference being we got Slow on the Moira and we got Scalar on the Zenyatta instead.
So they were expecting DPS coming out from OnePoint. So really here, OnePoint definitely have the advantage with the Zenyatta with that Discord orb.
Going to send it straight into the back line, force him around the corner. Chubb's holding that shield nice and strong. Going to play around the passive terrain and get that positional advantage on the point as Gustav going to be healing, going to looking for some speed, probably going to pull the go button. And OnePoint have just been forced out the other side. They got 3 members on the front line to try and keep Shoes Money Crew away from just taking control. But of course now it's not going to be an easy cap as they both need to aggress onto each other to clear out the other.
It's extremely quick charging ultimate as well, Coalescence, so you will see it come out almost immediately. It's giving them a slight advantage here.
Yeah, the Coalescence has come out and it's going to be able to cut through them quite handily here. Nice shatter down. It's going to clear through the rest of OnePoint. It's an easy take for Shoes Money Crew.
Yeah, and we see this very often. You get the Coalescence very quickly when you come out against a team versus Zen and you win it with the Coalescence. Obviously, they remove JK Lil almost immediately, and then they had shatter pressure there. Chubbs drops it down, and it's an easy wipe. Then you swap off the Moira, you reset, you go over to the Zenyatta. But Chubbs, however, 90% towards the next shatter. He's only just bloody used the thing.
Yeah, that one back up nicely. Well, very quickly. You got Eng Scalar with the supportive ultimates ready to go. Shoes Money Crew catching up behind him. Gustav just going to be dancing around the central pillar. Graviton Surge going to go out. It's going to pull multiple members. Nice knockback there to deny Gustav the positioning. Chubbs will take out JK Lol. They've lost Scalar. He's going down with that Transcendence in his pocket. Self-destruct sent to the back. Still have a sound barrier if things start to go wrong, but it looks like they've got control of the point. They're actually going to use it to aggress onto Shoes Money Crew. Force them away. Now they're caught up in a grab. Chubbs, he's got no HP. Malfig going to be able to clear him out as they push back. They're not giving up the point in that entire endeavor, and Shoes Money Crew are starting to get into the upper ends of the 50%.
Excellent decision making from Shoes Money Crew there. Seeing that Scalar's outside of the fight for a little bit, so you can go for a quick Graviton, knowing there's no real follow-up after using that sound barrier early from OnePoint there on Eng. Shoes Money Crew decide to continue that fight going, and they win it off the back of some good decision making. Now OnePoint, they want to retake this one. They have the Transcendence. Do they go for an aggressive Transcendence? So that is the question here. I think it might be worth it for the team. They also have the bomb to play around with.
Going to have a difference of rotation there, force around from another angle instead of going where they wanted to. No capitalization from that from Shoes Money Crew. Gustav is going to reposition Chubbs into the middle of the rest of Shoes Money Crew. A Transcendence comes out from Scalar to keep everyone alive. Most importantly, Chubbs, who was caught out of position, but now pressure's back onto JK Lol. Being closer to that Graviton Surge himself. Mob sends out the bomb, going to throw the shatter on top of that as well. He will catch out Chubbs at one point. Now missing that main tank, they're going to commit Yikid's grab. They're not focusing him, they're more rather trying to stay alive. Self-destruct into the middle. Still not going to find anyone, but a boot from Eng will take out Gustav. Shoes Money Crew still hold on to the point, and a couple of percent remaining. You've got to get aggressive and get control of the point here, but I don't think they're going to be able to. Graviton Surge from Mal's should seal the deal here as Yikid's just going to be burned through. Effortless from Shoes Money Crew.
They look way, way more organized in this match. Reviewing a couple of earlier matches this season, they don't seem to be on the same page a lot of times, but now with Morphic in the roster, it just kind of feels like this team has evolved from last week. Way more organized, like I said, way more clean, and it's 100-0. That's about as clean as it gets.
Didn't really feel too much resistance on that map in particular, if I'll be honest with you. It did feel like they never really lost control, not in terms of scoring, but just in terms of pressure on the map as well. OnePoint, gonna need to work around that and change that as it goes through the series. It is early days still. We're gonna move on to Control Center for our next map.
You know, Shoes Money Crew want to make their way. And this is the map that we did see May on beforehand. But Shoes, they're looking pretty right now. JK Lol being a lot more reserved. Historically, this guy's been a little bit out of position, but now he looks way more playing with his team a lot of times. Despite being booped all over the place, he's managed to get back into position, probably with the help of Gustav in particular. He's doing a great job of displacing the enemy Reinhardt, which is pretty critical on Control Center here for Gustav to be making sure that's happening.
Well, Eng's already found Obling, so they're going to be missing that burst healing from the armor pack. Obling going down means that Molch is able to get DMX as well. This is going to be an early fight control over to OnePoint as they take capture of the point when it will unlock in 5 seconds time. There's not much that Shoes Money Crew can do about it.
Yeah, they identify a small crack in the armor there, and they just all go on it. Shoes Money Crew don't react in time as they've laid themselves onto the right side of the point rather than stairs. So the members over there do just get absolutely stomped on. Now OnePoint have pretty commanding presence right now with Scalar almost towards his Transcendence. Shoes Money Crew only 50% towards their own graph.
Gonna need to play catch up on that one, but it's being mirrored by 1Point. Yikids, of course, is at a similar charge, but Mouse is starting to accelerate away in this race as he builds towards the Graviton Surge. Lost his shield, so he will need to get that healing in, but he's singing about 90% for the time being. It's Scalar with that Transcendence, the only one on the board so far, but everyone's close behind, and this could come to a massive crescendo when he starts to come online. Just need to see who's going to commit first, and now Yikid's going to match out. Going to match out Mouse. Going to commit that Graviton Surge in there. They're going to pull in the Transcendence as well, as expected, but Gustav's already taken out Chubbs. He's going to go down with that Shatter. And now we've got the Transcendence also being committed by 1Point to keep him up. There's the Sound Barrier as well, so they've laid the support ultimates being matched by Shoes Money Crew, but they still have the Transcendence to overlap. Grav being eaten up by Molf. Yikid's not going to get that on the field as Eng then goes on to take out Obling. So point control still in favor of 1Point. Despite some advantageous plays coming out from Shoes Money Crew, they will come back with a superior ult bank for the next engagement.
Just can't quite finish it out. It does mean that Slur gets to hold on to his Transcendence for the next one. Potentially you'll see another aggressive trans here from them. 1Point, they don't have their Graviton anymore, but Yikid's already towards 60%, so maybe Slur holds on to this one. Bomb to play around with. Don't necessarily want to start a fight out with a bomb because it gives a lot of time for 1Point to reposition. But that last fight, it just felt as though Shoes Money Crew were able to close it out.
Same playing around the corner. Chubb's going to put the Shatter down, is blocked out. No one's going to feel victim to that, but they're going to throw out the self-destruct regardless, and Molf's not going to find anyone. Chubb still take out Slur, who's still going to drop down with that Transcendence. He's held onto that for 2 fights now. You're not getting value, you're not building charge towards another one. It's starting to become problematic, and now the Graviton comes from Yikid. They identify that there's no Transcendence there. They use their own from Scalar to keep the momentum of the fight going. Mouse is isolated, Bubble expires just in time to get a kill from Tech 3-6. They push everyone back at 99%. 1Point have control, but they're going to throw the Transcendence because this is last chance to Loon to take this map away, or more specifically, this round, but they've already demeched Molf. They're then going to cancel out the Shatter from JK Lol. Beautiful from Polly, just to seal the deal. 1Point are going to tie Li Xiang Tower one apiece.
100-0, back-to-back. It doesn't look like there's any more hopeful Shoes Money Crew coming in this one. Maz is going to switch over that signature Tracer pick that he has in the pocket. It's not enough. He's going to get solo grab. No more mobility to you. And 1Point will take that one with a pretty excellent counter grab coming out from Shoes Money Crew. But again, it's not enough. It feels like their closing presence isn't too high. Whereas Yikids on this Zarya's just seem to be consistently doing much more work than Mouse is. Now, back over to that original composition, that 3-3 aka Goats. They are playing with the Zen again in hand. And this is a really interesting map, and it's a map that I really love, is Night Marcus, is because the initial fight happens so much in this courtyard here, and it's kind of a cat and mouse game, who makes their way to the point first, and whoever does make that rotation tends to be punished in terms of cooldowns. So it's exciting to see teams play around these lions as sight lines, and wait for who's gonna make the dash first.
You need to make that more efficient, Blank. You can refer to them as sight lines instead, and then we move forward into the middle, so that initial clash is going to be happening there, and you see off to the side, you've got the 2 Divas dueling it out. They're just going to be holding it in as they return into the fight. You're going to commit Molf on that Diva to come back in and reinforce the rest of his team, but now positional really control has been given over to 1Point. Just going to hold on to this corner so they can migrate over to the point earlier with less of an expense, but they're still trying to find their way into this one. Instead, they're going to look for the fight. They've gotten themselves off Molf onto the side. He's just firing away at this shield. It's broken down. Chubbs hasn't got it. He has to retreat fast, get some healing from somewhere. But Tech 636 already got the D-Mech onto Molf. Point capture will go over to 1Point, and they're able to play with relative safety.
Molfig's still out of mech, though. Not dead yet, so he can regain his mech if he wants to.
Gonna have that Graviton Surge nice and early. That came out of nowhere for Mouse, but no one's fallen victim just yet. Sound Barrier committed. They want the retake nice and early. Shatter comes down. We'll take out Polly. It's going to be Slur to then be killed, but the rest of Shoes Money Crew can't quite deal with the hammer coming down from Chubbs. Commit their Transcendence afterwards, and now the grab comes out. Eng's picking up a double kill. Self-destruct sent into the back line. Still struggling for Shoes Money Crew to get on the point. This is under the control of 1Point. Molf comes in with a double kill with the micro missiles. Yikid's going to take out Miles, and Heng just dueling away. They need to take him out, but now Gustav's coming in with the assistance. He drowns out the music from Eng. Point control still in favor of 1Point.
Eng is probably the best person to die here. He gets back to the point so quickly, but already Shoes Money trying to aggress, catching Chubbs out of position. Nice for it to Barry to keep him up.
Yeah, absolutely. JK Law will take him out with that charge. It was good to get in between him and stop the reinforcements coming in. JK Law again onto Polly. Yickits sitting in around about 100 charge and 52% towards a grab. Probably knows that this point is over and does not want to lose it, so he's going to end up conceding the point, letting Shoes Money Crew get the take, but then look for an aggressive retake.
Zarya high charger. It's so important, like you say, Tridd. You need to hang on to it, especially when you got that grab coming up and you need that follow-up. Just having 40 charge can be a huge boon to you coming into this fight. When you're on 0, if you grab early like this, like you can tell Shoes Money Crew want to do, both support ultimates are down, there is no counter grab, it's going to be huge.
Sitting with Scalar's Transcendence, and like I said, no defensive ultimates on the side of Shoes Money Crew.
Oh
Going to commit that Shatter off the flank while they were distracted by that bomb from Morph, which still finds Polly. You've not committed anything from the side of One.PoinT to try and make that happen, but it's a good start for Shoes Money Crew to get some percentage on the board.
Yeah, that's extended what would have been quite a long fight there, and arduous for Shoes Money Crew as well. So now they're sitting in a pretty decent position. Gustav up top, waiting to boot them off should they take this high ground approach into the waiting arms of Shoes Money Crew.
Into the waiting arms of a sound barrier as well. He can just jump off there and drop the beat after he drops them. Like
this is excellent.
They're moving straight into the trap. Force the hand, and now they need to capitalize on it. Scalar going down very low, gets the armor pack rather than popping the Transcendence too early. It's a good decision to make to keep him up and keep their ult economy strong. There's that Graviton Surge. Fleur has to answer with the Transcendence. Self-destruct sitting in the middle of them. No one's going to go down, and finally Scalar's going to commit that Transcendence they were able to hold on to. Shatter will find one on the back line, but not much more as they translate over to the point. Sound Barrier now coming out from One.PoinT to reinvigorate him as Scalar takes out JK Low and moves on to the point. Tech36 got no shielding, and that laser cuts through his mech, so he's now walking around as a mini diva. Yickits sitting at high charge. Flare Strike will take out Obling. Self-destruct on the point, donate some more energy over to the cause. 85% and taking for Shoes Money Crew. They can't lose this fight, they want to win. Gustav being cheeky, sending Chubbs to an environmental, sitting on a Graviton Surge for Yickits, but they want to burn through without it and keep hold of that. Discord Orb plus Polly is enough to take down JK Low as the rest of Shoes Money Crew move in with a sound barrier. They want to get this to 99, they want to get this to overtime. They force out the grab from Yickits, and they need to burn through the rest of Shoes Money Crew. But reinforcements are being drip-fed in faster than One.PoinT can deal with until now, and it's just Obling, and you got yourself a D-mech'd diva to deal with.
Yeah, 99%. And Yickits so trepidatious to use that Graviton in that fight. You know he wants to hang on to it, so he has it for the next one. But really, by hanging on for so long, actually is a detriment to him, because if he had used that Graviton earlier, closed out the fight, he could have been on much higher charge right now. You saw it already got to 40% in the short space of time after the grab was used. But Shoes Money Crew, Mouse is coming into this one. But Tech36, he's notorious for eating these grabs.
The hungry boy, when it comes around to the Graviton Surges, may be able to get in a consumption against Mouse, who going to be using this Graviton Surge to push Shoes Money Crew over the line as we enter the 99% showdown. 2 super offensive ultimates available for One.PoinT. They're going to commit the sound barrier early. There's that Graviton Surge, uneaten by Mouse. Self-destruct over the top to try and break it apart. Nice move! Morph will find 2 with the bomb. The assist coming in from his team. They send one in the back. Gustav going to end up giving his life as a Graviton Surge. Only catches free quite late into the fight as Mouse cuts through Eng. A D-mech from Tech36 comes out here. They're going to give him the protected barrier to buy him some more time, but Shoes Money Crew going to get the flip with no overtime remaining. They're going to take Lijiang Tower away from One.PoinT.
Slur is dashing to the point. It's not enough. It's unfortunate that One.PoinT go down. They have the Shatter and the Rally in the pocket, but unable to use it because death awaited them. A very wonderfully close game to start off with. I knew this was going to be a good one. Shoes Money Crew and One.PoinT consistently evolving as this season has gone on. And with new pickups here and there, both teams hadn't quite yet found their identity. And it seems that now we're seeing a true picture of both of them.
Yeah, trying to see a more refined team identity. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you map number 2. everyone, welcome back. We're about to jump into Eichenwald and, or Eichenwalder, as I've been taught over the past couple of weeks. Educated a little bit. Cultured, some might say.
We need it, to be honest with you. Let's be honest.
So as I said, that's our second map in our rotation this week. It's Shoes Money Crew obviously picking up the big W on Lijiang Tower, which was...
The big dub.
Which was one-sided round 1, one-sided round 2, and then the 99% overtime for round 3. So it was a good conclusion to that one. But Shoes Money Crew ultimately coming away with that one as we move into Eichenwalde.
Yes. Now, this is a pretty fun map, to say at least. A lot of the points as we flow through this one, Tridd, do change a lot because point A, it's very closed off. There's not much routes of retreat. So you play stuff like Anna, where holding on point is excellent, and you can get big bio grenades. And then you come over to point B, much more vertical, maybe switching over to a Winston, but you tend to just see that free. But there is a lot of DPS. But obviously point C is just so heavy tank because it's so enclosed. You can get massive shatters, massive grabs off.
Just want to be getting to that point to begin with, though, because that's a down the line problem. Unfortunately, Blank. It's not something we can get away with right away. Although we do see a lot of tank flavor compositions, especially in the opening. I feel like it's a safe bet for a lot of teams, but there has been some diversity with what people are running out with when it comes to DPS flavor.
Yeah, and we saw that last game. In particular, you saw Eternal Academy rolling out on pretty much quad DPS there. I think they played it fairly well. They dropped down, got a few angles on British Hurricane, but now Shoes Money Crew versus OnePoint. I think these are definitely teams that kind of want to play as 3-3. They've put a lot of work into it. You can tell they've put a lot of work into it. They've progressed very, very far, come from week 1 to now. And now it's both these teams that I've seen improving steadily as the season has gone on, and now they're pitted together. It's almost like it's a big trial of strength right now, and we can already tell that it's very close.
Shoes Money Crew, just keeping it nice and simple. OnePoint going to move out here. I think they went over to the Widowmaker for a cheeky little pick, maybe expecting a Farah to come out from Shoes Money Crew potentially. We're going to go back to a more traditional comp to meet them at this choke.
So we're mirroring right now, so both teams, they have to play this one quite cautiously. OnePoint moving in, Shoes Money Crew holding fairly back right now, so they have to make a far rotation over to the cart.
Going to go down nice and low as they play around that cart. Yikids needs some TLC at the moment as he retreats back round. High ground being contested by Tech36. Wants to make sure Molv is not going to be able to do what he wants to there. Chubb's getting the healing he needs on point. DMEC over to Molv, but Tech36 then going to follow up with the kill. That uncontested pressure, allowing him to burn through JK Lol, force them into the tavern as an isolated Shoes Money Crew are going to be just scattered to the wind. Obling just going to be easily picked up there as Yikids is now entering the house, breaching and clearing as multiple members of OnePoint are just picking up frags across the board. Effortless was a word I used last round to describe SMC. OnePoint. It's their time.
Yeah, not a single drop of sweat from his team. Pretty much boarded up all the walls from the point. Didn't let them in at all. It seemed quite messy from Shoes Money Crew. Maybe a little bit of communication issues there. It seemed people didn't really know where they're going. Obling got caught out fairly early, but both teams amassed a lot of ultimates. On OnePoint want to use theirs now.
Nice airtime there by Chubbs. Will get picked up afterwards. He went for an ambitious charge. But Eng did also find JK Lol. So they traded main tanks. But I need to get back over to this card. And I'm going to hold high ground for Shoes Money Crew for now. I think they want to take the advantage when they have the numbers to do so. Yikid sitting on a Graviton Surge probably wants to use that the second they drop into an unfavorable position. Potentially might even use it above the bridge.
Yeah, both teams got support ultimates up right now, so it's going to be a long fight ahead of us. JK Lol coming back into this with a shadow, so it's super duper even right now, and Mouse wants to get this grab off.
Using the sound barrier to go in nice and early. Obling's been put on his back, and like, oh, well, that's someone going off the side. Eng knocking Obling off. And they're going to get multiple kills there. SMC taking back control, wrestling it even away from OnePoint.
There was a boop there from Gustav. He got the credit. But I think JK Lol really gave them the extra velocity that they needed to launch them down into the waterfall. Really well set up by Shoes Money Crew, and that positioning was definitely purposeful from them. But OnePoint, they did the great thing, and this is something that I've been wanting and expecting from more teams. It's knowing how to get all that ultimate efficiency, which they have right now. They held onto the bomb and the grab, knowing that they couldn't win that fight.
2 elements online for SMC. They're holding high ground for now. Payload just underneath them as it's starting to reclude even further back as OnePoint take that position away from SMC. It's going to start raining damage into them. They want to get this payload back in motion. Yickets with the Graviton Surge. They've got Tech 36 with that bomb, so the combo is online for 1Point. They got that shatter from JK Lol, looking to shut that down, potentially send it through. They can just clear some space, get that Reinhardt out of the way. Sharp's going to be able to block it out very easily. And they're going to be able to push this further. Graviton Surge blocks him in. We're looking for this self-destruct. Oh no, the self-destruct's actually going to be pulled out too early. Everyone's going to be able to cower behind JK Lol's shield. We're going to demech onto Molf, but that's about it. They're still playing around this archway now. It's time for them to grab. Scalar's going to get that Transcendence out, but they don't have Molf's bomb online to be able to combo, get that burst through. Obling will still find a way, because he certainly had the will, and Gustav's going to follow up onto Polly. They've isolated themselves, Tech in the corner, and the rest of them are going for the reset. 3 minutes remaining. 1Point haven't been able to break this chokehold.
It's such a tough position. I think 1Point played that correctly. They played it on that left side from attacker's perspective, specifically to prevent the boops off down underneath the map there. But it pushes them into a very, very small avenue where you're being crushed in by the payload on one side. It makes the grav hugely efficient for Miles when he drops it out. And in that situation, Chubbs can just swing, JK Lol can just swing into it because there is no counter grav to come out. It's already been used.
Still going to take the same pathing, get up onto that high ground and just be able to see everything that Shoes Money Crew want to throw at you. They've got the sound barrier, but they're going to use the amp to speed everything up. There's the sound barrier, and then he commits it into safety. So he did it from relative safety where he couldn't be CC'd, then comes into the fight. It's been met by the sound barrier of Gustav. Self-destruct over the top. We're going to remake in there. En going down very low. He's going to get killed off by Obling. So they're going to have to struggle with this one again. Slur has got that Transcendence online. Yicket's close to the grab, but this is all about retreating with as much as you can from 1Point because they're just going to be decimated by SMC.
Mouse seems to have really upped his game as well, Tridd. I think in the past couple of weeks we have seen him been a little bit overzealous with his Gravitons, maybe out of positions at time, but here he seems to be playing much more for his team right now, and he's way, way more reserved with his Gravitons. 1Point, however, they're not having this Transcendence online, so as of yet, the Grav is free for Mouse.
He's moved a couple of points away from the hardest side of the Zarya scale into the Davin side as he's stunned up. Wants to get pushed back to the armor, basically eroded from him at this point. They're just getting a top up from Polly. He's using that rally. So that self-destruct Graviton Surge combo again, shatter through the payload. Polly's been found as well as multiple members of 1Point. Hold on to your resources, lads. This isn't the fight for you.
Again, it seems like the rotation from 1Point is a little bit scuffed towards the end there. You see Chubbs making the rotation into Castle, whereas the rest of his team are moving around to this left side of the map here where there is much more natural cover. And this opens a massive opportunity for JK Lol to get that huge shatter down. But more than that, it provides a lot of opportunity for the rest of the players on Shoes Money Crew to build up their own ultimates whilst the rest of 1Point are on the floor. 1Point, like you said though, Tridd, have held on to a lot of ultimates. Now they're going to try and take the high ground away from Shoes Money Crew, try and make a play, but Gustav's in position.
He's going to be able to go for the boot there. Chubbs nearly fell to his death, but will reclaim some control of his flight and get back onto solid ground, just not the one he wanted. Gustav again just contesting that high ground. Eng's about to get that sound barrier. Gustav needs a little bit more to get towards it. Just being bullied still, even though it's nothing. Just feels like he's just playing with his food. As he gets down behind and tries to reposition him. Of course, out the protective barrier. And the trans very early into that fight. They've still got a whole barrage of ultimates to use. Graviton Surge being committed. There's the self-destruct in the middle of them. Chubbs commits the shatter just to find JK Lol, but there's no follow-up to make it work until Tech comes in with the sweeping micro missiles to get the kill. Sound barrier then coming out from Eng just reinvigorates the fight. You've got a self-destruct from Molf and a rally from Obling. If SMC are fast, they get one more contest on this payload.
Yeah, and with a shatter in the pocket as well, JK Lol has been pretty successful with those so far. He needs to find success again if they want to hold on to this one. He can definitely combo with Molfig, but he goes down last, which means he's going to be coming out last as well as. This is really tough for them. Do they make the engage, or do they just give over point B?
They're setting up for it. I think they're going to go for it as they're moving in. JK Lol's trying to get through this choke, but he has to be fast if he wants to contest. Goes for the charge. Chubbs is then going to be protected, and they're going to send the sound. Oh, self-destruct goes through the window, but it finds no one. Everyone's down low. They need to get deeper to the fight. Molf is going to be even later to this engagement. Nice shatter. Will take down multiple members of SMC, and they still get to keep hold of their own self-destruct and a Transcendence as they push into the final section.
And not only that, they're going to have this Graviton as well as, which is going to be excellent for finishing out this point. And you see the rest of 1Point, they're charging forward right now. They want to get those late picks towards the beginning, but they're going to back off for the time being. They know they don't see anyone out there.
They've got that back up. They've got that combo, the showstopper in their pocket, ready to go. Slur does have a Transcendence. It'll do great for the grab, but not so much for the self-destruct. So they have to play around this one. They have to know that this is going to be the game plan for OnePoint. And the more territory they can take away without using the combo, makes it even greater chance of success to complete this map. Gonna get ready to use it. Gonna send the Graviton Surge in. Here's the trigger they're gonna pull. Transcendence comes out like clockwork. Where is the reposition? It's enough to find JK low. Sound Barrier comes out afterwards as well. Both support almost down for SMC. Make that a third, as Obling's gonna be ending his rally a little bit earlier because he's been picked off. You've now got Molf separated from the team, working towards that self-destruct, but the payload is so close to completion. They need to be able to contest this one. Molf coming in, but he's gonna be burned through by himself. Polly up from above with the stun up. He's gonna deny JK low an easy passes to the payload. He has to brute force his way in there, and it's messy as hell. As they want to finish quick up afterwards. There's the biotic grenade. 15 seconds remain. They're trying to do it with more than just overtime in their pocket. Blank. That's the main objective here. Finish with at least a sliver left, so they guarantee themselves a completion. Self-destruct over the top. JK Low's back out. They might ensure it. Chandelier. 1 second remaining. JK Low's going to go down, but it's in overtime. That's the result that Shoes Money Crew wanted. An amazing hold from Shoes Money Crew towards the end there. Excellent from Morphic to get that self-destruct towards off the end, which gives more time for JK Low to stay alive, whilst the rest of OnePoint position themselves so they don't get taken out by that stray self-destruct. That will ensure that there isn't a second push from OnePoint now. Provided Shoes Money Crew also finish. Over a minute. Yes. As well. So that is the benchmark that we've now set ourselves for SMC's completion. They can do this with at least a minute in the time bank. They guarantee they will not lose this map. Yeah, at worst only option is a draw from that point. Yeah. Well, a draw and a win. The worst case scenario is the draw. It doesn't guarantee the draw, unfortunately, but it definitely sets up some advantageous stakes. So it's so important to burn that extra couple of seconds off the time bank in that previous round. It's now OnePoint's time to defend, and just as SMC have their objective, OnePoint have theirs. It's just the inverse. And we haven't seen any Graviton eats from Tech36, which he has been quite known for so far. And that's mainly because Morphic is doing a really great job to basically take a lot of his attention away on the high ground. Tech36 wants to set himself up on weird angles where he's either behind Mouse or to the side of Mouse where you can get these Diva Matrix out where you don't expect it, but Morphic is keeping a close watch of him. Look at Shoes Money Crew having a nice little bit of a rave after that really good stall. You know, I don't blame them either. Slur's having a good time, throwing his hands up in the air as well as he's dancing around that one as well. I completely agree with your sentiment though, Blank. Morph has been doing a lot of work to distract Tech36. It's almost babysitting, not quite to the degree of just being somber and hacking them so the defense matrix is down for you to then shoot the grab, but it is still a great level of assistance coming in to make sure that they can come out here and deny one of Tech36's strongest attributes on the Diva. Chubb is throwing in these fire strikes like no tomorrow. Already 50% charge. Has to back up. There's no ally barrier anymore, so this might be an opportunity for Shoes Money Crew to go aggressive. Well, they're certainly going to go aggressive if Eng gets taken out like that. They have no Lucio, they have no AoE heals or mobility as Mouse presses forward. Chubb's being pushed into a corner and just gets sideswiped by Mouse again, who's got all the frags so far. Just cleaning up OnePoint as they're going to move this payload a lot faster than we expect them to. And that's why I dislike that hold on the left side, is that when you make the rotation to point and really the attacking team don't force out any of their own cooldowns, you are left without a paddle as you move on backwards, and there's no water around you either, so it's even harder. You're just scraping your boat You're paddling back through sand. Yeah, essentially. So Shoes Money Crew, they do a great job to identify that OnePoint, they're not in a great situation. Well, a Shatter is going to change that situation as Chubb's hopefully going to be able to drop that one down onto them, but needs to get around JK Low's shield. It's about how they're going to be able to do this one. And it's such a tight corridor, there's no room to expand for SMC. Mouse. They're all going to be behind that shield. Polly already taken up Mouse. He ran and accelerated into his death, and no ult's really committed there by the side of OnePoint. Going to block it out nicely, and then he goes in with the counter because you got yourself JK Low off to the side. Transcendence coming out from Scalar. Gustav then drops the sound barrier. Slur sitting on that second defensive ultimate of his own as Molf sends that self-destruct into the back Everyone has to take cover around the terrain. Gonna throw the grab as well. This might be a bit of an overcommit to seal the deal here, but they're gonna send it through without finding a single kill. JK Lol will go down, 2 Yikid's damage, and the rest of Shoes Money crew will retreat. But the Graviton Surge was needed to make that happen.
They have to push them right now. They cannot let them get away with this so easily because Shoes Money crew, they're coming up on a grab, and Scaler used his Transcendence during that fight, which means this one's is free. Shoes Money crew know this, OnePoint know this, Mouse is charging up as fast as he can.
Tech, if there was ever an opportunity to go ahead and eat a grab, this is it, buddy. If you can get in here and swing this one in, he's used DM, they must have spotted that. They want to commit the grab, I don't know. They're going to send themselves up into the air with the sound barrier. Grab comes out, it's going to have nothing else to protect them as the rest of SMC is going to cleave through them, and Scaler, that's going to be the biggest disappointment, gets his Transcendence online after the fight is over.
Yeah, but that puts you in a really tricky situation now. Do you go for the aggressive trans, or do you wait for the next one? Because essentially you've almost wasted an ultimate here, just because how close it was for Scaler saving his team. And Eng had to use sound barrier there as well, as to no avail, doesn't keep them up in this fight. Again, Shatter and Diva Bomb ready, but they've already crossed that very dangerous area where OnePoint were held for so long.
This is dangerous for them because they have to aggress. They've opted into the attacker's position. They're going to hold up that shield. Shatter just a little bit mistimed by Shoes Money crew. And the counter comes in from Chubb. Beautiful cleanup. A couple of seconds in it for SMC made that possible for OnePoint.
And just the Shatter and the bomb, Shoes Money crew, they're down a rally, a bomb, and a Shatter, so much more efficient there. And because they used the rally and died, they have none of that beautiful armor. OnePoint in their hand, they have loads. We're going to get a replay on this one. Boom, they're all down.
Beautiful timing. Like I said, it was just a missed time on Shoes Money crew. If they would have waited a second longer for the shield to actually be broken, then they're going to be able to get themselves that kill. Going to press through. Eng's already been picked off. I don't know how he ended up in that position.
That's a good trade,
and they're going to be able to take out, but it's a 2-for-1. And they lose the potential of a grab from Yikids. He can get back to the fight quick as long as the rest of OnePoint can stay up, and they have a Transcendence to make that happen. They're going to keep him alive so Yikids can get back. Chubb's going to be stunned up. They're going to bring someone up. Oh, Chubb's going to charge kill on the JK Lol, but Obling picked him up afterwards. Polly's going to avenge him, though, and now they've got the D-Mech on the Diva to potentially stall out a little bit longer. Protective Barrier will deny any ult charge as Slur drops off the edge of the map. 2 minutes 20 to burn, and then knocking on the door.
That was a really tense moment for OnePoint. They get the environmentals, and they absolutely needed them there to stay in it. Once the shield's out the way, however, once Yikid gets back to the fight, you can start gaining a little bit of charge, and he's a bit more scary. Now Shoes Money crew, they only have the they got Transcendence, Rally, and Bomb coming this one. Nothing really to combo, though, so it's all very difficult to get these ultimates out.
Well, Molf wanted to go for a cheeky little angle. He's buying time here. They just rally straight to the point. They're going to move on to this while Scale has just been blown away by sheer momentum from SMC. And JK Lol's going to follow up with a kill onto Chubbs. Not much they can do about this one as they've given up positional control, and they're going for the environmental onto Polly, who's trying to retreat, but Obling will get the kill. And I think they just have to concede this point now. I don't think you can contest this one, Blank. You need to be focusing on the final section of this map.
It came out like a bulldozer out of the stairs, just ran them absolutely over.
Molf just baited them in. He's like, I'm here, come get me. And then they cleared a passage for this team to just storm through.
It's an excellent distraction here, and now they might even get first corner for free, but OnePoint, they know they have to pressure this. 2 minutes 43 means they can't give up any ground for free here.
Everything's going according to plan for SMC. They have the potential to be able to get this one away, and Chubb's going to deny the Earth Shatter again and push them forward. 2 minutes 30, they can do this, but they have to burn through and get them to make sure they've cleaned this time back. And the more they delay this out, the more they stall this out, the better the chances of a 1 point victory on this map. They just come to fruition.
Shoes Money crew now looking at that grab, the bomb, and the Transcendence, so you can have a long slurry of ultimates coming out here. It really depends how OnePoint want to play this. I think they just play it slow. They have that sound barrier, which can ensure them the victory after the re-engage if things go sour.
As long as they can make this fight slow, they guarantee themselves that they'll be able to have another attempt here, because they've only got 50 seconds, 55 seconds to push it to victory, which they can't do if this fight carries on being stagnated. So I think OnePoint have guaranteed themselves a second attempt if completion comes in from Shoes Money crew. But with all the ults on the board, no one knows how this is going to go. Graviton Surge throwing in, self-destruct over the top, Transcendence, everything being thrown, no one going down.
Nice Shatter Shatter again.
Finds the shatter. The saving grace of 1Point. Self-destruct over the top. Cover is used as well as that shield, but he's going to have to wait a couple of seconds to get it back. Polly doesn't need to use it because he's got one of his own. He takes out Oblin. Yikid then following up onto Mouse. 1Point have guaranteed themselves another attempt at this, but they don't even want it to let it get that far. They want to burn through the additional 1 minute 15 remaining without a completion.
Historically, both these teams, ult economy is something they have struggled with, but at the moment, both teams are doing an excellent job to stagger out their ultimates effectively so these fights last longer and keep themselves in it for longer, as well as it's really good to see. Shoes Money Crew coming in with a slight edge here with that shatter, with that rally. There's a lot of pressure here, but Yikids can prevent it all with one grab.
That grab needs to come out here. Molfig, he's not going to be able to go in with the consumption. They're going to commit nice and early. Scaler's already found Mouse, and Tech's going to clean up the rest of SMC. 40 seconds remaining. They still have Chubb Shatter, but he's got to match it against JK Lols.
And with the ult economy being so low to begin with for Shoes Money Crew, they've only got a Shatter here, and that fight was so quick, it did not give them a chance to get any more ultimates. However, 1Point, they're holding onto the bomb. They're holding onto that Shatter, that same combo that secured them point B for a short while.
They've got a Transcendence on the board as well. Scaler's built towards that quickly. They're going to be able to have that one if it all goes wrong. They're trying to take the fight to him, keep him away from the payload. And Moth goes for distraction. He's going to be blocking out that shatter. And they're going to commit that Transcendence early from Slur. They don't have it in case anything else goes wrong. That Earth Shatter being committed behind him. Tech 36, he's stunned up, but he has the self-destruct to use to clear this one out. Rally comes in nice and early. They want to find some picks before
Does he wait for the grab?
No, he doesn't wait for the grab. Surely he doesn't at this point, but it's a couple of percent away. Might want to throw it out, committing it early. He's going to wait for it as he sends it over. No, he leaves it at the point. He's going to push it in a little bit, but it's a bit of a misplay here. And now Mouse has found Yikid. Slur has cleaned up Polly. That means the rest of 1Point's going to crumble. They have the distance to get another stall out of this one, though.
He whiffed it. You knew he was going for the shift into the bomb. The boosters just were not there in that time, and he looked so dismayed. You could tell it just by the way he was moving. Shoes Money Crew coming to this with a shatter, a rally. It's going to be fast. Overtime, however, so there is an opportunity for 1Point. They make the switch of the Symmetra. This is a lot of shield damage. I doubt it's going to work, though. We saw how it worked in the Overwatch League.
Throw out the turrets. Let him run free. There is
Morphe's getting crushed by it.
He just got massive. He just got decimated by that teleporter turret combination. And we're at a mega. Oh, wait a minute. Here's JK Lol back again with the shatter. Miles and Gustav have cleaned him up. Eng's now been finally removed by Obling as Slur's on the back line trying to pick off Tech 3-6. They've done enough here to clear them out. They might be able to walk this one in overtime. No one's coming out to drip feed. No one's coming out to contest. 0-0. They're going to move in for another attempt of Eichenwald.
1 minute to 1 minute. Wonderful job from Shoes Money Crew to stay in this one for so long. They're playing at such intense moments of overtime to move around that corner and push it all the way into that golden box in overtime. It's just so well done. And a lot of it comes down to JK Long, great shatters, and Mouse. They both these tank players at the moment are playing much more careful, much more cautious, and the aggression is there when they need it, but it's something that we haven't characterized with them before, and it's wonderful to see this new identity for Shoes Money Crew.
Wasn't 100% sold on the Symmetra.
I mean,
neither
was Paris Eternal, to be quite honest with you, but they still ran it, and Atlanta just ran them over. I knew what was coming. Did 1Point not watch that match?
Maybe. I think they did, because they obviously wanted to get the tactic from somewhere. But no, it did good to get a DMech onto Molf, but I don't believe they cleared out the DMech Diva, and so he was able to remech during that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's just tough. I mean, the turrets can only do so much. We cannot put so much pressure on these turrets these days.
Let Sim stick turrets to enemies.
like sticky grenades of old. Classic.
Yeah, but then what you can do? You can't remove it yourself. You then need your team.
Someone, shoot me!
Yeah, but then you also have to go into your team to be able to like get affected by it. So you're gunning down your own team. It's like being converted in Age of Empires.
Just 1 minute remaining on Tridd. It's going to be a close one, that's for sure. Both teams just probably one push to make this work. A really risky charge, it works!
They're going to send off JK Lol, but they need to get themselves onto the point. Chubb's going to press forward after they demech Molf, and the protective barrier is going to keep everyone up as best they can. The rest of OnePoint want to move into this one as they're burning through the rest of Shoes Money Crew. Capture percentage is getting on the board. They get over 33%. They've already put themselves in a great position, but it looks like they're going to get the full capture and start to get the payload in motion.
I'm surprised Chubbs could even go that fast with Cajonas so heavy as steel. This man just slung himself across the floor, took out JK Lol. I don't think anyone saw that one coming. And now they're going to be moving this in overtime. It's incredible how quickly they got it. It's 3 seconds before it even hits. OnePoint, they're in a perfect position.
Going to get themselves towards that payload. Overtime is ticking down. The more that OnePoint can get away with this, the closer they come to securing a victory and moving into the half for a tied series. They've already forced them away. That's aggressive transcendence to make sure that no one falls down and they're not abused for it. But the payload has to be kept on. And you saw Molf round the back of the side trying to feed information, trying to get killed. Tech comes in with the consumption, and Mouse's grab absolutely denied. They're going to have to do it without Shatter on top of it. Sound barrier as well. JK Low charged into the corner again as Molf is actually being staggered out here. Finally, they will kill him, and they will move him even further, and they have a self-destruct to push him even further over the line.
I swear, Tex 36 has a better understanding of the Matrix than Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus combined. OnePoint, they will continue to push this one in. They have the self-destruct available. This is so far for an overtime push. They're looking at getting point B.
Going to be moving around onto the corner. They're going to get themselves onto the bridge. This final clash could decide it. They get themselves checkpoint B. It could be difficult. Self-destruct over the top. Finds Gustav, who's going to go down. He did get the sound barrier out afterwards, and now Eng's going to be answered. It's a balanced fight. They paid their dues, but the payload keeps on moving towards victory as Scalar has that Transcendence online, something that cannot be matched by SMC, and they're going to commit it nice and early to push him in. The point is still being contested. They cannot let this one walk forward. Yickit has been sent off the map. He was high energy and close to a Graviton Surge. Chubbs is now going to crumble as well. I think this is where OnePoint's final ride will end on Eichenwald.
Gustav has been pretty phenomenal with these boops so far. A hero play, knocking Yickis just 6% shy of his Graviton, which could have closed out that point. Remember, they didn't have a Transcendence available. Now will be round 3 completing. Now it's time for Shoes Money Crew's push, but it's going to be a tall task to match this one.
Definitely done well for themselves here to go into the half, tied against Shoes Money Crew, and will reset the series scoreline effectively. 1 minute in the disposal of SMC. They need to capture point A and obviously pretty much get to point B to be able to have a chance of going up 2 series points after the halftime. No deviation from the compositions we've seen so far as they're going to go back at it again at point A.
If it works, it works. Both teams, God. There's got to be some things going through both the minds of these teams, right? OnePoint, if you're a OnePoint fan, you're probably feeling pretty happy right now. Shoes Money Crew, I don't know, lads. You probably feel a little bit dismayed, if not a bit frightened by this entire push ahead of you. OnePoint, however, they can hold, but they don't want to make the same mistake they made last time, which is holding a little bit too close. I think they hold on point here. I think that is the play.
Need to get themselves into a better position. At the moment, Tech 36, I think he's just trying to hop at that spray. I think you got more pressing issues, buddy. This is an overtime round, second attempt of Eichenwald. Shoes Money Crew come out on the offense, and you're going to be staying with Gustav at the back. Want to get through this corner first. Actually, Tech 36 staying off to that left-hand side. Probably wants to try and deter that free mobility that they're going to want to take through here, but he's cleared out. He knows they're moving in. They rotate round to the point. Going to heal everyone up and get a foot on the paddling pool so far, as they're looking for an opening here to make their way onto the point. Molf going down low, and it's being answered on Tech 36 as well, who has to back off, get some healing, play this nice and slowly, but the time bank is burning down. Time is not on their side. Need to be fast as they press in. Here comes the aggression. They want to get Mouse, but he's got that protected barrier. Yickid's going Going to stick himself alive as they build closer towards that grab. He's cutting him away from the team, but he's also focusing all of his attention on making that happen. Payload is being captured, uncontested, and finally he will go down, but Scale has cleared out JK Lowell. There was no protected barrier to come up from Mouse to help his Reinhardt. Is the trade worth it? We'll have to find out as the ults are coming online for OnePoint with the rally, and they got the Transcendence and Sound Barrier ready to go, but they're working towards the Graviton Surge. Sound Barrier coming out nice and early. Scaler can keep hold of the Transcendence. Slur's already used his. Mouse going to throw that grab, and it's coming with a consumption by Tech, and that might be enough to seal the deal here as they're able to come back, and Yickers can work towards it at a faster rate. Shatter blocked out again by Chubbs, but JK Lowell's going to find a way to make it work without. They've actually managed to capture the point, but they need to clear out the fight, and Tech36 clearing out Slur. Chubbs looking for Robling, and Yickers balancing this fight back and forth, but they need to find a way. Maus looking for an additional kill on the Chubbs. Will find it as he's sitting at 100 energy and working towards another grab. Tech's about to lose this one, but Tech comes in again after finding JK Lowell and Mouse, and they're going to clear it out, but SMC have a huge respawn advantage.
No Transcendence on Shoes Money Crew. The big one is that Yickers has the Graviton coming into us. They have a rally to push the advantage as well. Chubbs is going to be able to walk forward. There's no counter grav either as of yet, so he's been able to swing into this Graviton. Shoes Money Crew did an excellent job to stay in this one for so long. OnePoint just looked a little bit more disjointed as team members fell one after another. But they've got time to hold here. They've got time to make this one work. It's really got to be on Molfig to eat this grav.
It's not something he's known to be doing, especially when he's up against Tech36, but Yickers wants to get this Graviton Surge in. He's already at 50% HP. Rally comes in. They can end it right now. They get the good combo off, but they've already lost Polly.
Nice
Shatter committed. Yickers is going to go down as well. Chubbs committing that Earth Shatter for AIM to only find 2 kills is problematic for OnePoint. They need to save onto all their resources and try and end it decisively on the next attempt.
They're only going to have a sound barrier to prevent the Graviton from taking them down. Could this be that Shoes Money Crew take it all the way and take this last point and remove Eichenwald away from 1 point or 2 up in the series? Yickers coming back here. He's got the bomb as well as it's going to be close.
Going to get themselves into a position where they're looking to fight Tech36. We've asked a lot from you this series. If you get a final E in here, you more than deserve to take this map and put yourself to an even scoreline. Going to play around the payload as expected. Tech sitting on his self-destruct for now. Shatter comes in. It's not been blocked out. There's the sound barrier. The grab to isolate the team. They might be able to stay up here, but Chubb's getting a lot of attention. The self-destruct will find no one. Yickers grab come out afterwards, but Tech36 has not thrown in the self-destruct yet. Chubbs goes in with the Earth Shatter. People are being slid around. Tech finds 2 as Obling, and JK Lowell will go down. Moth loses his mech. OnePoint have done enough to go into the series tied 1 apiece.
Just Morphic remaining, but the OnePoint play has been excellent, and one player in particular, it is Tech36. If these players were aligned, everyone would be slapping Tech36 on the back right now. He's done everything in his power to keep this team in this game. And they go 1-1, tying this one up in what has turned into a fiery series.
Well, it's tied. Like I said, 1 apiece going into the halftime. We'll have some highlights for you so far, but as we've expected, Shoes Money Crew and OnePoint, a series that we expected to deliver, and it is doing just that. And we've already highlighted one of the star players so far, Tech36, ult consumption, which is not a concept that is new to him. He's been doing this back in Season 3 and into this season as well, but also coming out with the self-destructs when they matter most. And something that got you very excited in those first overtime rounds was Chubb's aggressive charge onto JK Lowell. And I noticed a few more of them as the series played out.
Yeah, he's. I think Chubbs has come into this one. I think a lot of people had some doubts about him, but he's performing much better right now, and it's only been literally a week since he's been added to this roster, right? And he's been playing very well. Sure, he's been hit by a couple of shadows from JK Lowell. Not to matter, though. He's been pressuring back from some of his own. That was that excellent charge coming from JK Lowell.
Gustav yoinked away from them in the kill feed.
Right? It's so cruel. And Miles coming to this one, it really started to become very shaky for OnePoint towards the end here. I think Yickers just couldn't find a good time to press the go button on that grab when there were so many members down. But you know what? It comes up huge towards the end. He's able to get the counter grab off. And I'm so pleased to see both of these teams seem to have fixed their problems when it comes down to ult efficiency and how they use them when they hang on to them.
We're going to be...
this was it.
Yeah, looking for the aggressive charge. Anyway, Chubbs, They're going to throw down the hammer as well. A couple of great Earth Shatters coming out from him. And yet again, more charges. Here's Tech 36. I don't know what he's going to find from this one. Could it be a 2K? No, it's just finding Slur. But this was obviously the game-winning 2K that came out by Tech 36 to be able to find 2 off the back of a actually dry self-destruct. It wasn't comboed with the Graviton Surge that came out just before it.
There was a shadow that came out just seconds before there, which I think almost dissuaded Shoes Money Crew from the point, maybe disorientated a little bit, and the bomb came out. And it's the best time to use it is in a long fight like that. Is you use the bomb towards the end where everyone, it's become a messy fight, right? And in that messy fight, you're prone to finding like double picks like that from the Diva Bomb where everyone is just scattered.
Well, that's going to be the halftime so far. It's tied 1 apiece, and it certainly started to heat up on the end of Eichenwald. So I advise you heavily to not go anywhere because we have no idea how this is going to end.